You carry storms within you: rage, fear, restlessness, craving. You fight battles no one else sees, and you wonder if the heat will burn you away or forge you into something greater. Tell me this: when the fire rises inside you, do you control it, or does it consume you? You will discover the discipline that turns struggle into fire, so you can stop being consumed by chaos and instead learn to wield it as your weapon. Musashi walked alone. He carved his life into steel and silence. He wrote not for applause, not for comfort, but for warriors willing to be scorched into clarity. In his fire scroll, he revealed the truth. Combat is not a technique to memorize, nor a trick to repeat. It is fire itself, fierce, consuming. It cannot be neatly contained. It devours all that is weak. It spares only what is forged strong. Struggle is not an accident. It is not your curse. It is your furnace. Every betrayal, every loss, every night of solitude, each one is flame. The coward flees and burns. The strong stand within it, and in enduring, they are tempered. The fire is already here. You cannot choose if it comes. You can only choose what it makes of you. Will you scatter like leaves in the wind, or will you endure as iron in the blaze? Struggle is fire itself. Battle is not clean. It is not symmetrical. It is fierce and consuming, like a blaze tearing through dry fields. The enemy before you may carry a sword, or it may be doubt, desire, despair. Each one waits to set your spirit alight. If you stand still, the flames engulf you. If you fear the heat, you already burn. To live as a warrior is to step into the fire willingly, to accept that all struggle will scorch you and still move forward. Think of the flames, unpredictable, dangerous, devouring. That is what life throws against you. To fight is not to deny the blaze, but to move within it, to breathe through the smoke, to carve a path where others choke. Fire consumes the weak because they run from it. The strong allow it to temper their steel. Do not ask for calm winds. Do not beg for gentle waters. Accept the fire, grip your sword, stand. This is not metaphor alone, it is command. Every hardship, every insult, every failure, fire. Every night of loneliness, every betrayal, every scar, fire. The question is not whether the flames will come. They are already here. The only question is, will you let them hollow you into ash, or will you allow them to forge you into unbreakable iron? You cannot walk Musashi's path without heat. You cannot wield the discipline of the fire scroll unless you see every obstacle as the flame that shapes you. Take this first lesson and brand it onto your spirit. Struggle is fire, and the fire is your forge. A fire does not ask permission to burn. It begins with a spark, sudden and merciless, and in an instant, the world is changed. Musashi wrote that to face battle is to seize this first flame. If you wait, the fire belongs to the enemy. If you hesitate, you are already burning. The warrior must strike first, not always with the blade, but with spirit. The one who sets the rhythm commands the field. The one who takes the initiative forces all others into reaction. Musashi lived this truth in duel after duel. Against Sasaki Kojiro, against countless men who came with sharpened steel and sharpened pride, he did not wait for their strike. He shaped the moment. He carved time itself into his weapon. So understand this: initiative is not recklessness. It is clarity. It is reading the terrain, seeing the enemy's hesitation, and setting the fire before he breathes. Like a sudden flame that erupts, you must become the spark. The world is full of men waiting, doubting, circling their own fear. Be the one who ignites. Ask yourself now, in your life, where have you given away the first strike? Where do you wait for permission, for safety, for certainty? What battles inside you remain unfought because you refuse to light the fire? The moment you hesitate, the blaze consumes you. The moment you act, you shape the field. Initiative is the first spark that decides everything. But a flame is not enough. Once it erupts, it must spread. To win, Musashi wrote, you must break the rhythm. Fire has no pattern. It devours without order. It rips through fields and forests, bending to no beat but its own. So too must the warrior disrupt the enemy's cadence, shatter the comfort of his steps, and pull him into chaos where you alone stand firm. Musashi called rhythm the lifeblood of combat. Every fighter moves in a cadence, a hidden drumbeat guiding his hand and foot. To let him keep it is to fight on his terms. But break it, interrupt his timing, change your speed, shift your distance, and he stumbles into the blaze. He lived this in every duel. He struck when men expected stillness. He paused when they braced for speed. He made his silence louder than their cries, his sudden cuts sharper than their preparation. Like fire disrupting the pattern of the land, he unmade their rhythm, and once broken, they were already lost. This is not only the duel, it is life. The world moves in patterns, lulling you into repetition, into predictability, into the rhythm of the weak. If you let yourself be ruled by routine without awareness, you are already defeated. To break rhythm is to seize freedom, to step sideways when others march forward blindly. So I demand this of you. Look at your days. Where have you fallen into rhythms that weaken you? Where does predictability make you easy to strike? You cannot live as fire if you dance to the enemy's drum. Break it, shift, burn their cadence into cinders. Before flames consume the flesh, smoke blinds the eyes. Musashi wrote that victory is not only in steel cutting flesh, but in spirit breaking before the clash is finished. To strike the body is one thing, to suffocate the will is everything. Smoke is subtle. It creeps before the fire, choking lungs, clouding vision, sowing fear. A man who cannot see, who cannot breathe, who cannot trust the ground beneath him, is already defeated, even if his sword remains sharp. This is the way of combat. To weaken the enemy's mind before you touch his body. To fill his spirit with confusion. To cut his rhythm until doubt pours into him like smoke into a house. Musashi mastered this art. He fought not only with the edge of his blade, but with presence itself. He arrived late, forcing his enemies to stew in rage and doubt. He altered his weapons, breaking expectation. He carried silence like a weapon, until the man before him was lost before the first strike. Smoke before fire, confusion before destruction, fear before the blade. And you, when you face the trials of your life, do you understand this lesson? The greatest battles you lose are lost in the mind before they reach your hands. Fear blinds you. Doubt chokes you. Anxiety clouds your steps until you yield without striking. Musashi demands more of you. Do not let the smoke rule you. Be the smoke. Fill your enemy's spirit with it until he cannot breathe, while you walk clear-eyed into the blaze. Break the spirit before the body, and the battle is already yours. A fire does not always roar. Sometimes it flares violently, consuming all in its path. Other times it smolders, waiting, glowing red beneath the ash. Musashi saw this truth and carved it into his fire scroll. Combat is not always attack, nor always restraint. It is the shifting of intensity, sometimes fierce, sometimes calm, always deliberate. The weak know only extremes. They lash out wildly, burning too hot, exhausting themselves before the true fight begins. Or they hold back too long, their fire dying in the ash. But the warrior learns to master intensity. He strikes with force when the moment demands it, like flames that leap into the sky. And he restrains his heat when patience is the weapon, like embers that wait beneath the surface. Musashi did not waste energy. He conserved it. He released it like a sudden blaze when the enemy faltered, when rhythm broke, when spirit cracked. His control was fire itself, chaotic to the enemy, precise to him. This is the way. Not constant fury, not constant stillness, but mastery of both. You must learn this balance. Do you always flare too soon, wasting strength on battles unworthy of your blade? Or do you hide your fire so long that opportunity passes, leaving you in cold defeat? Reflect fire is not one shape, it is many. Rise when the world expects you to smolder. Smolder when they brace for flame. This is not hesitation, it is control. To master intensity is to own the fire itself. Musashi wrote that a single spark can consume an entire city. He knew that duel and war were not separate things. They were the same fire, burning on different scales. The rhythm of one opponent is the rhythm of an army. The pattern of a single strike is the pattern of a campaign. If you understand how to master one, you hold the key to all. In the Fire Scroll, he does not separate them. He does not let you think small battles are trivial or great wars unreachable. He says clearly, the principles do not change. The fire that devours a branch is the same fire that takes the forest. Too many believe their struggles are unique. They imagine that their private battles of discipline, of hunger, of temptation are small, unworthy, disconnected from the wars of nations. But Musashi speaks against this lie. The duel within your chest follows the same law as the duel of armies. Rhythm, initiative, spirit, fire. Master them in yourself, and you master them in the world. Fail within, and you fail without. Do not imagine you will rise to greatness when the day of trial comes, if you cannot face the spark in front of you now. If you cannot master the single flame, how will you endure the inferno? One spark, one war, one discipline, one victory. A blaze does not politely burn one corner of the field and leave the rest untouched. It spreads, it devours, it leaves nothing unscathed. Musashi knew this. He wrote that to win, you must press the enemy so completely that no space, no shadow, no shelter remains. A wildfire leaves no escape. This is the final lesson. When you engage, you must not strike once and retreat. You must not give your foe a place to breathe, to gather, to recover. You surround, you overwhelm, you spread until his options are ash. Victory comes not from one cut, but from pressure unrelenting. In his duels, Musashi carried this truth. He did not allow the enemy to recover rhythm. He did not allow hope to rekindle. He advanced like a firestorm. Silence, strike, pressure, breath stolen from the air. His enemies suffocated in his presence before they fell to his blade. And in your life, do you fight this way? Or do you strike once and withdraw, leaving your obstacle space to return stronger? Do you fight cravings half-heartedly, only to let them grow again in the night? Do you face your doubts with one blow, only to invite them back at dawn? A wildfire consumes because it does not stop. It burns until nothing remains. So must you. Leave no escape for the enemy within. Leave no shelter for weakness. The Fire Scroll is not about others, it is about you. Musashi wrote it in solitude, not to flatter disciples, but to cut through illusion. He said, "Battle is fire. Fire does not lie. Fire does not wait. Fire does not forgive hesitation. It reveals, it consumes, it purifies." So now I put this final challenge before you. When your fire rises, When your life itself burns, will you flee or will you stand? The weak scatter, the strong endure. The warrior does more. He shapes the fire, spreads it, wields it until nothing false remains. This is Musashi's command. This is the way of the fire scroll. Walk into the blaze. Let it scar you. Let it temper you. Become the wildfire. Leave nothing of weakness behind. And when you are asked who you are, let your silence burn hotter than the fire itself.